Hi there, this is Matt from the Why We Horror podcast, and I'm here with a bunch of guests today to talk about the film Pieces. Pieces is a 1982 or 83 horror film that is like trigger warning the movie. It's pretty crass and includes bodily dismemberment, all kinds of objectification and misogyny, and it's just the worst. So I'm gonna go around and ask people, what is the worst horror movie you have ever seen? For me, it is The Human Centipede Part 2. Jay.
I'd probably say the worst one I've ever seen would probably be Rubber. Honestly, I did not like Rubber.
That's, oh my god. Okay, I'm shook. Uh,
I was gonna
moving
say
on.
I was gonna say Marley and Me, but that didn't seem appropriate.
All right, Mike.
Uh, Titane.
Oh my god.
The
I also
worst
like that
movie
one.
in the world,
I
honestly.
love Titan.
That's a good movie.
Don't lie to the people on the internet.
It's pretty all right. And Amber.
Okay, so I don't know what it's called. I think it might have been called The Covenant, but my sister picked it out from like a family video or something when we were like 12. And we started watching it with my dad. And at one point, all these women like go into the woods to have their covenant or whatever. And I think it started turning into kind of a softcore porn situation. And then at one point, they were like doing that thing where you hold your hands and spin around. And then this woman's arms just dislocated from her body and her body flew away. And I think at that point my dad was like, we're gonna not watch this anymore. And so that is probably it, but I kind of wish I
So you got through
could
the
watch it
softcore
again.
porn, but when the arms came off, that
Yeah.
was it for Dad.
It was the,
he was done there. Yeah, he also took us to see Scary Movie, the original, in
man.
theaters when we were around that age. And you know, trauma has happened to all of us.
I saw that movie in the front row of the movie theater with my mom, who got
Yep.
very offended when the Schween gets like plunged into the dude's ear in like the glory hole scene. So she got up and left, and then felt bad that she left a child in the auditorium, and like 20 minutes later decided to give it another go. Walked back in, and the dude was like hedge clipping the woman's bush, and then she was like, nope, and then she just walked out. But Pieces. We're here.
I mean, not much difference, to be honest.
We're talking about the film Pieces from 1982 is when it got released in Europe, and 1983 was its release in the United States. Pieces is directed by J. Piquer Simon, written by Dick Randall and John Shadow. All of these sound like fake names. And also had some uncredited rewrites by the director. The cast stars Christopher George, Paul Smith, Edmund Purdom, Linda Day, and Ian Sera. Cinematography was by John Marine, and score was just MAC, Mac.
Dude, Mac killed it. Mac killed it with that
He
score.
did.
I'll tell you what. I'm 100% serious.
You can't be serious.
No, Mac was great, dude.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of that music, I was like, I mean, it fits the time.
It
It did. It
The music
did.
fit. Yeah.
Like
I
I agree.
It's Mac
This
for you.
blows my mind. On the previous
Matt kills it every
podcast,
time, you know that.
on the previous podcast, Mike attacked the score to Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a pretty fantastic score. This is just atrocious in comparison.
That's what was happening. I agreed with the music with the scenes. Didn't work
Oh.
for me last time. It worked for me this time.
All right. A brief synopsis of Pieces is 40 years after killing his mother with an axe, a killer slays slays different women with the intent to piece together a new version of his mother. But in doing so, a tennis-playing detective and some random college guy try to figure out who this mystery killer is.
Kendall, my man.
That's the that's the synopsis of Pieces. Let's dive into the review of this film. What did people think of Pieces?
So I watched it, and then in the middle of it, I went, "I don't like you anymore." And why did we watch this? Not the kind of movie I was expecting, and I was not very thrilled.
Yeah, so
Oh, boy.
I, in my defense, I wanted to pick a movie nobody had seen. We were originally supposed to do the movie Nope, but two people who were going to be guests on that very specific episode couldn't do it. So I wanted to still film something, and I was like, let's just do something based on a movie that I'd heard about for like a variety of reasons. And I had been hearing about this movie since I was like 12 years old. Both in positive and negative
Well.
light.
Positive?
Yeah, positive. Yeah,
From
but
who?
remember, it's 12-year-olds telling them this. Okay,
Yeah.
so you know why they like it.
The guy at the movie store was like, "You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Nobody's renting it. We
Okay,
need to make money."
Listen, in Matt's defense, like the synopsis of the film that I got off Tubi, which is where we watched this, sounded good. And I texted it to my girlfriend. I was like, hey, Matt needs us to watch this movie for a podcast. Like, are you in? And the synopsis is this. It says the co-eds of a Boston college campus are targeted by a mysterious killer who's creating a human jigsaw puzzle from their body parts.
Like,
And she was immediately like, I'm in.
yeah,
That sounds good.
yeah,
They fooled
but
you.
that's not what
'Cause that
happened.
sounds good.
yeah. They did fool you,
Not
and like
film.
the whole jigsaw piece together. Like that's like 10 seconds. Like there's like 10 seconds of that. They're acting like it's the whole movie. You don't
There's
get
so
that.
much of him doing that puzzle, though. Like
Oh my
45 minutes
God.
of that film is those rubber gloved hands putting that fucking puzzle together.
And he's been doing it for 40 years.
So
This is by now.
in
Why
the
is it taking
film's
them so long?
defense, I think the scenes of the dude putting the raunchy puzzle together kind of work because upon first watch I was like, I watched this movie twice.
Why?
So I could take notes.
Mm.
The first watch I was like, this puzzle scenes are annoying. The second watch I was like, oh, I get it. Every time he collects a piece, he adds those pieces to the puzzle. So
Yeah,
like
it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
maybe I'm dumb and just didn't get that the first time. That's
Well,
probably
so-
true.
So that's what they intended. However, he puts the arms on the puzzle, and then he cuts the girl's arms off. So he's not doing it in the order that he
Yeah.
said in the puzzle.
He's
Can I ask a
telegraphing
question?
his things.
I want to start. So I think we can all agree that none of us particularly enjoyed this experience.
Well, hold on now.
Wait a minute.
No, had a
I
great
like
time.
to hate things, so I had a great time not liking this film.
I agree with
Yeah.
that 100%.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a minute since I've watched a bad movie, so I needed this.
Yeah.
And this is
And to
like
be
one of
fair-
those movies that's so bad, it's kind of a palate cleanser kind of movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because somehow this movie balances being completely and utterly forgettable and being the most unforgettable movie I've ever seen. Like there are things that in this movie I will remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, there's good lines in this movie. The writing in this movie is top notch, though. Like there's some
Yeah.
top notch right. I was telling Matt earlier. I'm like, why is it the 80s, but everyone looks like and talks like they're in the 1920s? Why is it like the case has gone cold? Everybody talks like that.
There was one line early on that is just like this weird non sequitur, and it was baffling to me. It was where they're like, "Did you ever get high and fuck on a waterbed?
Yes.
It's the greatest
Yes.
feeling in the world." And I'm like,
So good.
No,
I
no.
was
She says, "I want to do it underwater." Then they go to the pool. Remember that? I want to do it underwater, and then she goes to this pool. Which, to be honest, like the pool was insane. Like this college has an insane looking pool. It was really cool.
That they just let anybody go into at any time, apparently.
At all hours.
Yeah, and don't get me started on her swimming in the pool because like
I was
that
just
whole
like, clothes optional. I
Yeah.
always swim naked in
Yeah.
my college
Well,
pool. So
well, yeah. So she gets naked, right? But like, why does she take her boots off last? Like, who takes her clothes
I
off?
loved it. I
and
loved
her
it.
shoes last. She's like doing one leg of her jeans at a time, and her
It was like
boots
she
are
was
still
doing
on.
it like somebody was
Still
watching
on.
her.
Yeah,
Like, you
they're
know
like,
what I
"All right."
mean? Like she was like, "Oh, I'm going to put on a show," but there's nobody there.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, speaking of nobody there, this man hid behind nothing the entire time.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
he's right.
always
right.
actually in sight of his victim, never behind anything ever. But
You know what's-
somehow they never saw him.
what's remarkable is both he has that magical ability, but he also has that magical ability for the chainsaw, which he pulls out of nowhere in the elevator.
Oh my God, he hides
Hidden
it behind his back.
the whole
A
time.
whole chainsaw.
So,
He's just
yeah,
like-
he hides it behind his back, but then he like it pushes
Yeah.
the button in the
It's
beneath
next
the
to
thing
him.
with the hand. that has
Hold the
chainsaw
elevator, he's
on
like-
it. So he had the chainsaw in front of him. He must have had it in the other hand, right? So
I will say,
good.
I will say that when he does some of the shots when he's in the pool and the dark, how like the dark and the shadows were really good. But like, yeah, even with that, as he like emerges from the shadows, which they did a good job of lighting that, you would see that guy. You would see like it's a whole pool. She's alone and she's just like,
Yeah.
she got water in her eyes, and the chlorine was burning, so she couldn't really see.
yeah. And that's another thing. He like got her with a fish net. Like,
Oh my God!
you know, and why didn't
Yeah.
you just swim down?
Didn't see it coming.
He's
A
like,
giant
you know
pole
what's
with a net on
crazy?
it from like
She's
20 feet
holding it
away.
like this, and that's killing her.
The amount of people in that movie that are like, ah, and then get killed. It's like they even try to run away.
Oh, the vapors. He falls to
The
her
like the swimming pole scene where he nets her in the pole. I wrote a scene similar to that in like a novel that I had written, and the girl in that like evades the thing, and then she gets away from the killer by grabbing the pole and pulling him into the pool.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's not
like-
a good murder
Not
device.
possible.
The world's longest net too. Like that thing must have been like 30 feet long.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what they
what
poke the
kills
Grinch with.
me is if I ever get my novel published, people are going to think I got the idea from this movie. It's just
Nobody's gonna
one of
think
those.
Because nobody's seen
It's going
this.
to happen.
Yeah,
The
no
11
one's
people
seen
that
this,
saw it.
Matt, don't worry.
Well, I hadn't either until now.
she
Yeah,
just
somehow
pushed it
that
off.
net- Somehow that
I
net
think-
that she was holding onto her neck like this, so it's like this far away from her. Strangled her. She was able to get out of the pool, lay down, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy rev up the chainsaw. And she just lays there, like, oh no!
Well-
She didn't even try. Like she's not like she was drowning. Like she wasn't
No, at no
underwater
point
for
did
any
she
of it.
just go underwater and swim away from
Yeah,
the
she's
net.
Awesome.
Just let it happen.
He's like oiling up the chainsaw, like doing maintenance on it before he comes over there with it.
What I think is more important with that pool scene is the police that happen afterwards who go in and they point to the chainsaw and they're like, "You think this is the weapon?"
And he gets it back every time.
Yeah.
Or he
I
has
assume he just has a
17
cachet of the
identical-
exact same chainsaw.
He just has a bunch of chainsaws.
Well,
I was
clearly
really
he has-
happy with the one scene it actually is running. Because, like,
Yeah.
you know how they don't turn chainsaws on in films. But there was
Yeah.
one scene where it's actually like a fully functioning running chainsaw. And I was like, yeah, someone's really going to get murdered. I was like, it's a snuff film now. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's be clear here. This criminal has access to the police like evidence locker. Because if he didn't, how did he get that puzzle and his mom's clothes?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As
Right.
a child, let's just point that out as well.
Yeah. They didn't once question him. He was just like, oh, bloodied up kid. Like he obviously didn't do it.
Yeah. He's just like
Yeah.
he's more
Yeah.
bloody than anybody who's ever
Yeah.
been in their life.
Yeah, it's like he's good. He's good. We're not even
He
going to
was in
begin
the
to
closet
think
the
about.
whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah, like pretending to be
I like-
scared.
I also like how those detectives are like, well, we can't send him to his father. His father's in a different country. He has an aunt that lives the next town over. Let's give him there.
About an hour away.
Yeah.
I'll bring it over myself.
This is a good time to unpack the opening because I think the opening of this film is weirdly strong.
Sure.
Because I like by comparison.
It's strong.
Yeah, it's strong. I love the part. I love the part of the opening where the cops run up to the door and they're knocking on the door to get in because it's been so long, and then they run away from the door to get in sight of the camera, just to run back to the door again. That was my favorite part. They're like they back up enough so they can be in the camera, and then they run back towards the door, like the cops are here.
I like that lady rung the doorbell for 45 minutes every 2 seconds. And then
Yeah,
like, they're not answering the whole door.
Very
They must be home.
He says,
like, oh, I'll come back later.
he says, they say,
The police.
they
Strong
say,
opening.
let's look around, and they just go to the first door, and there he is. They say, let's look around.
So-
Oh, there he is.
You have the kid who's putting together this puzzle, and then the mom catches him, and she's like, "You're just like your father," and then she starts like attacking
We should
him.
clarify. It's a puzzle of a naked lady,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
And he's like what 10,
Yeah,
right?
It's,
And so that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's a purity thing. They're like
Yes.
sex, drugs, rock and
Uh,
roll.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the mom
like-
definitely was against anything impure.
Yeah, called it filth.
yes. And so then you're watching this mother who this is set in 1940 for reasons, and they are having she's having the kid like help her put this filth away and destroy it, and he just comes at her with an axe, which was one of the funniest off
Again,
the cuff,
readily
like,
available.
moments. Yeah,
Where he keeps his chainsaws too, just right over there.
What did she
He's a
ask him to go
gifted
get
killer.
for her?
Like a bag to
Like,
pick everything
The
up.
the trash can, something like that.
Yeah.
It
He
must
just
have
comes
been
back
next
with
to the
that.
trash bags.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
the
just
giant
like,
fire
nah.
axe.
Just gonna axe you.
You should have said, I mean, yeah, don't ask me to do anything ever again.
Yeah, that would have been a strong opening.
I agree.
It's what this movie needed.
See you later.
Yeah.
So-
To be fair, I'm with Matt. I'm not mad about this opening, right? Because it was the 80s. It felt very like mommy dearest, like
Right?
women are responsible for every bad man in the world, right? Because they fucked them up as kids, and your mom
Yeah.
was too pure and hid sexuality from you, and so now you're a serial killer who like tries on women's shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Felt very of the times.
So
I don't
here's
think
my
they really explained it at all for the rest of the film, and so it was just very like, oh, all right, we're not going to hear about anything about this child ever again. Okay, cool.
So the thing with that is he kills his mother, who is the one that like basically made him into the monster he is. So then he starts killing women to recreate the mother and get her in her shoes and stuff like that. If they had just stripped that element from the movie, I think it would have worked better of he's trying to recreate the puzzle that she was threw away. Like, why didn't they do that?
Yeah.
It would have been more interesting if he like was doing this over 40 years and this is the like last case of it. And he's been like piecing people together like a
he's-
puzzle.
Right.
Yeah. But they don't
One
show.
question is like, what started it?
Yeah, they don't show
why now?
anything. They don't show any of that until the very end of the movie, when it's almost like it'd be like would be different if there was like maybe a scene or two halfway putting together this like
Right.
weird
We only
stitch
see the
up
puzzle.
zombie. Yeah, but it's just the end, and it kind of just like falls out of the closet, or like the weird Scooby Doo door that they have.
Yeah, what's with that?
Oh, good.
Like, Scooby Doo is
though.
like, you've been working on this business, kid. Yeah. I was like-
I agree that the
Stick
intro
with
was,
me, kid. I'm a cop.
That's what he
Like, I
says.
in writing, yes, the intro was strong, like on paper, but the acting
Yes.
did not
Yes.
make it work.
Oh no.
So the child actor that's the killer has like incredibly blue eyes,
Yeah.
and then they showed the teacher, that Mr. Brown,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be like a red herring situation because he's got blue eyes. They're gonna make you think that it's him because they keep putting it back, right? Like an obvious like misdirect. But to find out that the real killer does not have blue eyes, it's like, no, it can't be him. Unless what? He got genetically altered in between?
Yeah, he grew out of those.
Yeah, the cop had weirdly blue eyes too. That was like they were just twinkling in the light, and I'm like, we need more of that in movies. Twinkly blue eyes.
Yeah.
They need more running gags of a guy not being able to light a cigar.
Oh yeah, that was actually. He's like, you got a light? He's like, oh no.
We also haven't touched on what I think is the most important moment in cinema, which is the discovery of that half woman and the female detective tennis player woman's reaction to that, and her screaming bastard
Three times.
Three times.
Each one. I was waiting for her to do it the third time too. I'm like, she's no way she says it again, dude. And then bastard.
She can't possibly.
That was next level. I think that's what made me like the movie, honestly.
Is she not the actress from the? I've seen her in the Mission Impossible movies. Is that not her? Like she looks like she's been in something before. That's the Linda Day.
She is from Mission Impossible. I think the old TV show.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. So yeah, good eye. She went under a stage name for this.
I would too.
Right.
I would too. Nobody's knowing my real name in this movie.
I think her stage name was she just ejected her middle name or something like that. So it wasn't a clever one or anything like that. But
I will say, speaking of that scene of the half body after she finds it, that was probably a really good looking like prosthetic, like that looked gross and like realistic mostly.
Yeah, well that's because it was real.
It was a real person.
It was a real body.
It was a pig that they strung up and cut in half.
Okay.
Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah. So that was
one of the only ones that looked good, honestly.
Yeah.
The mouth.
There's more to unpack with that scene. We'll cover that when we touch on trivia, because there's a whole lot of really weird, gross stuff to unpack with this movie.
Yeah. The stabbing through the mouth was maybe my favorite one, because you could see him very obviously stab right past like the left side of her head.
Oh
and
yeah,
the next shot is it's coming out of her mouth, and I'm like, perfect. No, don't do that again. It was good.
I swear I saw the knife like bend when he did it too. I swear like it like went like this, and then I'm like,
so good.
Why did he decide to switch from the chainsaw to a knife? Because they might have been on his trail.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't get that one on the lockup. That was in the evidence room.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, and then he's driving, and then the guy's driving a dirt bike around. He's like, oh, there's a chainsaw. Like, listen out for the chainsaw noises. And he's dirt biking around the campus. Like, sounds exactly the same. It's like,
can we talk about? I'm sorry, Matt. Can we talk about when the tennis cop was walking outside that building?
Yes, please.
A ninja?
Dude, it was his
teacher.
Kung Fu professor.
I know, but you didn't know that.
Dude.
No.
He just doing Kung Fu on her for no reason. He should know that that's a teacher. Like, why did he do that? And then there's like a Kung Fu fight and a gun wrestling fight, and then all of a sudden, and then the Kendall shows up and he's like, "Oh, that's my Kung Fu professor," and then he says something insane and then runs away.
No, he doesn't. It's not
this up again.
It's not insane. He says he had some bad chop suey.
That's not.
And then he very racistly goes, "So wrong," and runs away.
I wrote that down. I weirdly wrote that down.
I think we had to like pause the film and laugh for about 5 minutes because it's so unnecessary to everything in life. Like, it's just, why are we here?
All I have to say is wait for the trivia at the end.
My Kung Fu professor.
Excited.
What kind of campus is this?
But like when you first see him and he like runs through the bushes in his tracksuit, and then the next scene he's just running back the other way, but it's supposed to be like a continuation of his run, but it's very obvious the same setup.
So unnecessary. It was the most unnecessary part of the movie.
So unnecessary.
It's not the most unnecessary. I think the most unnecessary scene is the skateboarding scene.
Oh God!
In the beginning, what was that for?
This man had the audacity before this podcast to tell me there's skateboarding in pieces, and I'm like, It's within the first like couple. That also, yeah, that was very.
That's how I
unnecessary.
enticed Jay
here's
into
my
it.
here's my very bad theory. I'm giving them a lot of credit on this one, but so in the very opening scene, right, and they allude to it with the skateboarder too, but like mom smashes the mirror in his room after
Yeah.
finding his nudie puzzle, right? And so then there's this skateboarder on campus, and there's a glass pane being brought out, and she has so much time to not hit that glass pane, but turns out she does. And then we get a flashback to the mom breaking the glass. So my theory, giving them a lot of credit, is that the killer was around that situation and saw this girl smash into this glass, right? And then it flashed back to this repressed memory or whatever of his mom. And that's why 40 years later, he starts killing women to be his mom again.
It's the trigger. The skateboarding scene was
the trigger, yeah, because she hits that glass and probably is all bloody and gross and chopped up just like his mom's axed head was.
So it was necessary.
So
Yeah.
I think you are both, yes, giving it way too much credit, but
Way
also
too much credit. Way too much credit.
I also think that you're weirdly right, because I did see an interview with the director where he was saying that which I didn't get, the girl who ran into the mirror was the first victim.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that that's her in the next scene. So that it is a weird non sequitur scene. He said that that was foreshadowing for the pieces of the bodies that are going to be pulled together.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't get how that's the same girl unless she
No.
like didn't get hurt at all running into that glass mirror at top skateboarding speed.
Well, yeah, the
It
continuity
is the
so
same
weird.
actors, but no.
And like
it's
that
weird.
happens, and then the flashback happens, and then she's just studying in the yard. And I'm
Right.
just like,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. Because, she's the same girl who's like, oh, I don't care if my skirt is off while I'm laying in this yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you chainsawing this tree is definitely not going to interrupt me studying. Like, sure.
No.
That death was my favorite one, because she is like, oh, what are you chainsawing? Are you going to be long? Because I'm studying. And then he's like, not long at all. And then all of a sudden he comes around the corner and then beheads her, and you see the dummy head pop off, and then just this bloop of blood.
Yeah, so much blood.
It killed me. I was laughing for like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
That
Most of the
groundskeeper.
murders.
That groundskeeper was my favorite actor in the
loved
whole
him.
movie. He like, what was his name, Matt? Do you know, what was his name? He had a great name.
He did have a good name. I don't know.
Villain.
Yeah, he did.
Bluto,
he had
yeah.
he had a good side. Like he was like the whole movie. He's like,
yeah,
I love.
He
him.
was Bluto from the live action Popeye movie with Robin Williams.
Kind of
Was
looks
he
like
Willard?
Popeye.
Also, oh my God, Matt, are you about to tell us who played the karate professor? Is that your fact?
That's one of my things, but it's
I'll save it. I'll save it, you guys. Oh no!
It's a. Just wait. It's amazing.
No! Anyway,
Okay.
groundskeeper was Willard.
Willard was.
Willard.
Yeah, he was hilarious. You know.
Wait, so
He
he
was
really
good.
was Popeye's nemesis?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the
That's
live
crazy,
action.
I just said it because that's what he looks like.
He does. He does look like
Plays
Popeye.
the same guy.
Also, the
He
fact
did
he
that,
fought
like,
off like 5
A
cops
year
was
or
great.
two before this.
That's awesome.
funny.
I love him for that.
All right, so let's break into the analytical themes of the movie.
Yep.
The motive of the killer is forced sexual repression, right? Like that's what they go about. But as Amber pointed out, they just kind of it's dismantled instantly.
Yeah.
And it's like they tried to do something and it straight up didn't work. They put zero thought
Yeah.
into it.
I mean, they did the like everyone who's a sinner is dying, right? So like everybody he kills was like promiscuous in some way. Even like the dancer could be seen as like, oh, she's provocative. So, naked in a pool or like passing sexy notes in the library, you're gonna die now.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on all this stuff pretty soon. I can't wait for the trivia. Okay, unless anybody else had anything to say about that, I wanted to move on to the blatant misogyny of this film. That like the Friday the 13th movies got attacked when they came out because of how much those movies supposedly hate women. And there's some truth to that, depending on the installment of Friday the 13th you're watching. Number 2 and number 4 seem pretty, you can make that argument and it holds water. I will say that none of those movies come close to how much this movie seems to actively hate women, to the point where, like, until the final scene, which is what it is, like, no male gets even remotely hurt in
No.
it. It's just like a predatory attack on women through objectification. And I hated every instant of it. And if I could compare this movie to any one other movie, it feels the most like Friday the 13th Part 2, except a bad version of that movie. Like, so much so that it even has a girl pissing her pants.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same movie, and that would have come out a year before this movie did.
Yeah, even watching it, I was like, this is like why people associate like sexuality and violence from the 80s. Like movies like this is like what made some people like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just blatant killing. I will say that at least in some movies and some of the Friday the 13th, not all, but some, they will, as the series go on, they started to adopt like the final girl kind of role
Yeah.
of having someone live to the end. In this movie, not a single one of the victims like even tries to have some semblance of like, I think in the locker shower room scene, that was like one of the only girls that even like tried to get away or had some even notion, because like in almost every scenario you're gonna run, but like these some of these scenes they just like lay up and they're like and then die, which is just dumb for starters because no one would ever really do that. And two, they don't even try to give them any kind of like even running away or trying to fight back or do whatever. They're just basically there to be killed, which is silly. And not to mention, two of the scenes had this very explicit like blood squirt on their face.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, is this gonna happen with every kill? I'm like, ugh. Like,
The thing is you can tell this same story in a way that's not as like grotesque in its approach and doesn't come off misogynistically. Um, the movie I would compare it to is Perfume, the story of a murderer, which is basically the same plot. You're following a man who is trying to create the perfect scent, and so he slays like 7 women to steal their odor to create an orgy perfume. And it's done kind of beautifully. It's one of the most beautifully shot movies I've ever seen. And outside of its outrageous ending, is just like a movie that lassos you in, pulls you the whole time. It's just gripping. This didn't have any of the elegance of Perfume.
Yeah, it's like modern movies don't have as much of like even like nudity like this movie did.
yeah,
That and they
No.
can tell basically the same story, but tastefully, and not
Yeah.
make it so like
Even Perfume, which came out in 2000, what, 8, 9, something like that, 2006. That has just as much nudity as this, but it doesn't feel offensive.
yeah.
This felt offensive.
Yeah, and performative too. Like it was totally unnecessary. Even the swimming in the pool scene, it's like it's such
Right.
a long scene for no reason. Like you're swimming in the pool, you don't even need to do all that. It doesn't need to be naked. And to say it's anything but an artistic choice is just like crass. Like you could be like, "Oh, she had to be naked for the scene." It's like, "What?"
yeah,
No.
yeah. That's what I meant when I was saying that.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. It's they have no agency besides being killed or being naked. And it's like it makes for like a really dull horror movie when it's kind of like a It reminds me of like Jurassic Park, where they like feed like live goats on chains to like the T-Rex or whatever. And you're just like, they're like, it's like it's not fun to watch or do anything. It's kind of like, who's this for? Why does it need to be this way? And to have maybe even like one girl, I guess like the professor lady from the Mission Impossible TV show. I guess she's like she's the standout. But even her in the final scene, she's just kind of like.
Yeah, she's literally just drugged, and the guys do all the work.
And he's like
and
sniffing
she
her
kind
feet.
of
So
points with her feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
She points with her eyes.
Yeah, that part.
Her eyes,
That part was good though. I'll say this much because like when that was happening, I was like, and then Amanda even said something. She's like, she's looking directly where he's at, and I'm like, oh, word. And
those pig men, they wouldn't look her in the eye and understand what she was saying.
Yeah, no.
That was actually super mad.
Yeah.
If somebody's going,
no, yeah.
like, oh, I better not look over there.
They're the worst detectives of all time.
Yeah,
just terrible.
That part was like done well, but then it also goes to show that they're just like, oh, let's get you out of here, and it's like.
And she's the only one that wasn't made to do nudity because she was a name, like a person that was known.
She was supposed to have a sex scene with the lead actor guy, and he was apparently excited for it. Yeah, the dude that hangs dong,
good.
Which I was impressed was in here.
Listen,
but she was like, that's not happening.
But I guess equal opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to say, weirdly, like, even the throwaway women were just used to, like, belittle, right? And in that scene, Matt, like, I made note of it because it was equally, like, the least misogynistic and then the most all at once. Because I wrote down, like, we saw one penis. Like, I wrote it down. I was like, there's a penis in this film. That's wild. But in that same scene, the woman that he's sleeping with, which is at least the third woman that we're supposed to believe that he's been having sex with, right? And his like revolving door of sexcapades. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Come back to bed. How do you want it? You can gag me if you want. Is that what you want? Like, it was so icky. I was like, what? This also unnecessary, but not funny unnecessary, like Karate Teacher. Gross unnecessary.
Yeah.
I agree. Speaking of unnecessary, how did the ending land for everybody?
As good as it landed for me for a different movie I watched that I hated.
Yeah, I was like gonna give it. I was thinking about like what I was gonna rate this movie, and I was like, the rating for it went down after seeing the ending. Like, actually, I was like, up until that point, it wasn't very high to begin with, but after that, and like the whole, I was just like,
the hand grab thing is what was like too much. I was okay even with like the thing falling out of the wall or whatever. I was like, what's happening here? That's craziness.
Set it up for number two pieces too.
Why did it come alive? Like,
clearly, that's the part that gets me. I'll never be mad about watching like a pair of testicles be exploded in any situation. I'd be on board with it if it made sense to the plot, right? Like, fine. I was like, cool, that guy, we saw his penis and his nuts got squished. Awesome. Especially in a film where like the entire time is just like tits and like yelling at women and dismembering them, right?
Yeah.
But because it was the Frankenstein corpse thing that had just fallen out, which was never alive, shouldn't be alive, it reaches up and squishes up like kind of the protagonist's testicle. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
If I had to guess, that was probably put in there by somebody who saw the movie and was pointing out to the director that so many women get attacked in this and no men get attacked, that he was like, well, we can do that like last jump scare thing and have the final guy get castrated, and that way it doesn't have that criticism anymore, right? But it's just the most, like, we were talking last week about A Nightmare on Elm Street's unfortunate ending with the mom getting pulled in the window. This blows that out of the fucking water.
Yeah, that's leagues ahead of, as bad as that is, that's leagues ahead of what this is. Like, you could have done this 1,000 different ways that would have made more sense than You know,
Just not even
Frankenstein.
have that little part.
Honestly, yeah. I would at that point. The runtime was already getting a little long for me, so you could have cut that part.
It's got lean like 84 minutes.
Yeah, it's already a little long. It's
like,
pushing it.
man.
I really wanted the bad guy to be like the glasses friend, because
Oh, that would have
Oh
been
my
great.
gosh, yeah.
yeah, because
So
basically every woman
As
was
like a weird
was
little
killed was
incel that
with
would.
that guy with Kendall. So like
Yeah.
it'd be like, oh, so Kendall gets with them, and then the glasses guy kills them, and
So-
it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
why was this movie set in the 1940s in the beginning? Only because they made the dean be the killer, and you can't have a dean be like 30 years old.
Yeah.
So, like, believably, he'd have to be like 50 to 60. So that's the only reason that the beginning of this movie is set in the 40s, even though it looks like the 60s, and then they do a time jump. Like, that's bonkers. They should have done, like, trimmed that down. And the
kid or whatever, like, you know,
yeah,
what I mean?
and
Like
the
kid
dean
with
was the
killer, and he
least
wants to make his
interesting
grandma.
character.
Yeah. And then why is he like faking? He's like, we have to cover this up. Is that like that was a front? Like, because what
I
does he care?
guess.
What does he? He's like, what? He's like, we got to
Well,
cover
see,
up my
he was never the
killings.
dean originally, and then they had to pick a killer at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Like they're like, we got to keep this under wraps. My killing specifically under wraps. It's like,
But don't worry, the gay professor, you have to make sure that everybody
Yes.
knows that he's gay.
yeah. As long as he doesn't do anything bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really
Um,
wanted us to think he was the killer. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
There was a couple of red herrings, like the landscaper guy. He was an obvious one because they like set him
Yeah.
up.
Right.
But also when
Well,
he grabbed the bloody chainsaw, he was just weirdly cool about it. Like he was like, he grabbed the chainsaw and his blood on. He's like, he just made the he had that same face the whole movie. He's like,
Well, yeah, he was mean mugging the whole time.
Sorry.
I was just like,
Um,
okay.
Is this a good time to talk about the acting in general of this film?
Like, can we just talk about the audio?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
the Dean's audio was the only one that synced up, and I think that's very funny because he ends up being the killer, and I'm like, oh, you're the only one I could like understand fully this whole time, and everyone else, I swear, was like dubbed by a different person
Yeah.
at some
Can
other
I ask
time.
a quick question? What did you all watch it on?
Watch on Tubi.
Tubi.
So I watched it on Pluto, and most of the voices lined up, but sometimes they wouldn't. So maybe it was a Tubi
Yeah.
issue because
I
the
don't
second
know.
half of
The words
movie,
were right, but it was just not.
the second half of
There's
the
a
movie,
reason
the,
for it.
tennis player's mouth wasn't lining up for me.
There's a reason for it. We'll touch on it pretty soon in the fun facts and trivia.
Okay.
So, all right. I was thinking about it as we were talking about this, and like Amber painted a more interesting reason to have the glass shattering opening and all this kind of stuff. The whole time I was watching it, because there are a couple of scenes that are actually kind of interesting, even while I was watching it, I was like, we keep remaking all these like classic horror films. This might be one that's worth a second chance at, because there's interesting ideas in the film and interesting kills that just 2 additional seconds of thought you can flesh out and make more interesting. How would you guys feel if you heard that this was being remade?
Pieces 2, Electric Boogaloo. I mean, the ending would make
More
yeah,
pieces.
pieces.
Too, back in the habit.
Yeah, the ending would make more sense. You
Is
know,
that a cat?
Undercover.
you know. 40 years later again.
I'd be down.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen, I'm not mad about it. I think the themes were there if people were better at their jobs of filmmaking.
yeah,
And I don't think that the people involved in this were very good at what they did.
yeah. It's the story is interesting. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like the House of Wax movie, sort of, where they're trying to like recreate this childhood thing. So it's interesting, kinda. But they don't.
Lambs.
Yeah, but they don't follow through on any of it, right? Like it's all exposition in the very last like 30 seconds. And even then we don't even get like a very satisfying kind of, like at the end of every movie, the villain kind of reveals their whole plan. We don't even get that. He just kind of like roofies the teacher and then sniffs her feet, and then the cops barge in or whatever. And I'm just like,
I really wanted her feet to have been amputated. Is that a weird thing?
I kind of thought it was going to happen.
That so much.
Yeah.
I really wanted them to have been too late, but like not too late to catch him, but like too late to save her feet for some reason. I don't know why.
And then point your stubs at the wall, and then they won't get it.
Just to like really nail like how competent they are. She'll never play tennis again,
Yeah. There was a lot of tennis. I mean, I will say this, going back to how she was supposed to have a lovemaking scene, we got that gnarly tennis scene instead.
Yeah.
And if you remember the line, she's been playing tennis so much that her ears will come off, or whatever they said, some bogus line.
The tennis scenes, they just kept reusing the same like 4 shots over and over again.
Yeah.
Clearly, nobody knew how to play tennis except for the one woman that's like running back and forth.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Like, she is just, serving the ball over the net and then walking over to get them. Did she need a shower after that? Did she? I was just like, she's just serving the balls, and then she's like, I'm gonna take a shower. Not at home in this empty.
I hear this music, and I need a shower.
Like, he wants to be around it more. I'm like, I'd have been like, I'm gone. I'm out of here. Didn't break a sweat.
Back to your question, would you remake this? I don't think without all the time like cut out from the unneeded nudity and like whatever, there's a whole lot left of the movie. It's only 84 minutes. Like 50% of it is just voyeurism.
No, you're not wrong. In fact, this very much felt like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was like in the second season where these two kids had created a Frankenstein monster, and they're working to create a bride, and they're piecing together different like girls from the school and whatnot. It was pretty much the same plot, just done well and in 45 minutes.
That's the thing. They need to like really, even if they want to focus on the fact that it's trying to recreate his mother or whatever, like even in movies like Seven, like it's very much laid out through like the exposition. The detectives in this movie are awful, by the way. At least like in Seven, you have Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. They're like, this is why he's doing this, blah blah blah, expositioning to us to know why he's doing this the way he is. In this movie, they're just kind of like, take more uppers, we'll solve this case. It's
that line killed me.
That was a great line.
Yeah,
he's got
a good chip on his shoulders. Hey, part of the force.
Tell an 80-year-old man,
random kid that they're allowing to like be a part of this serial killer investigation on campus. They're like, sure, kid, come on in.
He knows everyone.
It's crazy.
The files. He's not a suspect. He's a good kid. I can tell.
He knows everyone on campus. He's good.
All right. We're going to move on to the fun facts and trivia, of which there are ever so many.
I'm very ready. I'm very ready.
I need this.
This film was shot entirely in Madrid, and they had it pretend to be Boston. And I cannot think of a location that looks less like Boston than Madrid. That being said, they did this in a very similar style to how they did like A Fistful of Dollars and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly and stuff, where they cast like some English speaking actors and a bunch of locals, and they just overdubbed everybody. Like everybody spoke English, and then they went over them too, and not a single one of them had a Boston accent.
I knew it was dubbed.
The whole movie was dubbed from the ground up.
That's crazy because it looked so good on my TV. Pluto must have did some serious work.
There are two cuts of the movie, so you might have a better cut on Pluto than they have on Tubi. So this movie, when it was released in Europe, was released under the name Mil Gritos Tiene la Noche, which means The Night Has 1,000 Screams, which is the preferred title by the director.
Okay.
He killed 6 people, tops. 1,000?
1,000 screams. That woman screams bastard 3 times. So
Bastard! Yeah, that's half of the 1,000 screams.
So 9,997 screams are unidentified. The 3 are bastards.
Yeah, and it wasn't even one night. It was over the course of like a couple
Right,
days.
it was like a
so
I
weekend.
know.
how is that the preferred? I don't know.
I don't know, but also
Unreal.
several of the people get killed in the daytime. So
Yeah.
also,
The weekend.
so this
Oh my
film was
God.
supposed to be a TV movie titled Jigsaw. The
Okay.
screenplay was so short that most of the dialogue was improvised. So this is what happens when you don't let a writer write.
Pick some uppers and we'll solve it. That's why.
Yeah.
We
So
got
you're
some
telling
good
me
ones.
he's Chow or whatever. I got a bad case
Chop
of
suey.
or whatever he said.
Bad chop
Oh,
suey.
ain't the bad chop suey.
That was
So
improvised.
wrong. It was so bad.
That
Oh
was
my
before. That was before the Avenged Sevenfold song too. So you know it was good. That was.
Speaking of, producer and co-writer Dick Randall was making kung fu movies in Rome simultaneous to the filming of this. And because of this, he arranged a cameo for Bruce Lee to be in the film. But when Bruce Lee said no, he got a Bruce Lee impersonator named Bruce Lee with only one E
Yeah.
to play the instructor.
I knew he. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to be the person to
So
say it. But
silly.
he looked like Bruce Lee, and then I'm like, I
Yeah.
shouldn't say that out loud. It sounds bad. But it was a Bruce Lee impersonator. What the?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Bruce Lee was in this movie? Like, well, yeah, in that movie Pieces starring Bruce Lee, because
Yeah.
they would put that all over there.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. Top billing.
He would have been the
The
killer.
look of the killer in this was modeled after the character of the Shadow from the old comic books, which a lot of people kind of get wrong. In the giallo horror movement, you have a killer that is usually dressed up pretty similar to the killer in this. So a lot of people mistakenly call this a giallo film. It is not. However, it does also utilize some of the same techniques that those films did with the extreme gore that splatters and stuff like that. However, this film is nowhere near as colorful or creative as any one of those. Here's my favorite 2 sets of trivia. So the first one is going to be a doozy. The director of this film, by all accounts, was not a swell guy. Here's a list I compiled of accusations made against this filmmaker and what he did. He opted to use a real pig carcass for the close-up of the body getting cut in half for the realism of the shot. He wanted the full dance studio scene to have all the students and teacher fully nude doing the dance class, but when the woman cast as the instructor informed him that they wear aerobics outfits or tights, he relented and let the actresses keep their gear on, but took notes of the actresses who were willing to perform nude, taking names and numbers to put them in a future film.
Oh. Was he under the impression dance classes happen nude? Like the instructor had to say, "Wait a minute, we wear clothes, silly guy." What?
Yes, that happened.
At
That
the
happened in
slumber
real life.
parties, I'm
He
sure
was
he
like,
thinks
"What
the
do you
same
mean?"
thing.
The scene in the pool was filmed in the winter in Spain. So the pool water was close to like 0.
Wow.
And the actress nearly froze to death as a result because they took 2 days to film it.
And that's why
Um,
she's
Two
like
eggs?
just laying there waiting to get
She-
chainsawed because she's actually in shock.
Yeah, she
dying.
had hypothermia and had to go to the hospital.
Are you
Um,
really? Wow.
Yeah. The actress Leticia Marfil, who played Susie, the tennis victim, the one that gets cut in half, was the daughter of the person in charge of wardrobe and always wanted to be an actress. The director was excited to give her her first opportunity after meeting her and had her death scene rewritten, inserting a nude shower scene, insisting also that she be slayed with an exposed chest, which was not in the script. He had the script rewritten. She quit acting shortly after because the only offers she was getting were roles requiring nudity. So he kind of ruined her dreams. And then he also terrified the actress to the point where she peed her pants for real because they were using an active chainsaw on set when they were attacking her. And the director liked it so much, he kept it in the movie and he even emphasized the moment with a close-up.
That's effed up.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. And she weirdly was like one of the girls or victims that actually like she did like she acted. Like the rest of them were like, ah, but she
Yeah.
like ran away and did stuff, and I didn't know
It-
that she peed her pants for real. That's actually
Yeah.
insane.
Is it acting or was she tormented by
Right.
this director?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
fucked
yeah.
up.
Even before
Yeah.
that, she still had like more scenes than other people too, even though they were smaller. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So that explains a lot.
So I'm not in love with this filmmaker. And this is my favorite piece of trivia. This is this has been said to be Eli Roth's favorite slasher film.
That tracks.
And knowing that makes the pancake scene in Cabin Fever make so much sense. Has anybody here seen Cabin Fever?
Yes.
It's been so long,
There's-
but
Been
yeah,
a very long time.
There's
Yeah.
a scene where they're walking away from the cabin into like town, and they find another like cabin kind of gas station, and outside is a small child who just looks up at them, shouts pancakes, gets up and starts doing kung fu at the camera, running at the main character who is just going, what the fuck? And he lifted this scene and from this movie and put it in that one, but he swears he didn't do it on purpose.
kung fu is not. It's not an original idea. I could have put kung fu in my movie, you know, randomly.
Yeah.
It's not.
That being said, I think if you watch Grindhouse, the original trailer for Thanksgiving feels very much like this movie in a good way, like done with just a shred of talent. And I'm not an Eli Roth guy, but I will say he is relatively talented.
Well, that Peter Jackson movie with the zombie mom and the holy priest, the kung fu priest, he must have got that from this movie too.
Yes, obviously. All right, so
Lord.
so how many dismembered body parts would you give this movie?
Do I have to give it?
Out of 5.
Like, I would love to give it my eyeballs for having to watch that.
Yeah.
And my brain for now having to know all of the awful trivia facts that you just shared with me.
Oh yeah, all those things help to paint whatever
Yeah,
fun you had with this
I
movie.
feel like I was gonna give it like a 1-2-ish severed limb, right? Because it's not a good film, but I enjoyed not liking it. But now I just like actually hate it. I'm mad, and so I don't want to give it any body parts.
Yeah,
I'm kind of in the same boat.
Give this
Nothing?
man to the sun. I'm done
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah. After everything, I didn't have high regards for this movie before. Yeah, and I agree. If I would give it any body parts, it'd be my ears for that terrible, terrible audio.
But the music.
So, well, yeah, Mac did kill it. Say what you will about all these people, but Mac, that dude can make a score, or I don't know who it is. Could be
I can't believe
man,
it.
woman, we don't know.
One
Mac,
thing I
most important.
thought with confidence coming into this was that everybody was gonna like dog on the score, and that's the one thing everybody's like, no, universally, I think we accept this as being okay. No,
Yeah.
I don't
Makes
accept
sense
that.
for how it was bad, but because
was
the
bad.
film was bad,
Here's the
track.
thing.
it's a
It
good
worked.
track. Good music, bad music for a bad film. Like that's good.
This movie came out like 13 months before A Nightmare on Elm Street. And what's wild is how radically different they are. Like, if you just approach anything with even a shred of like artistry, Nightmare on Elm Street was made for $1 million. Like, it was a low budge film. By comparison, Mallrats was made for $6 million.
That's why.
And that's insane.
What do we know how much the budget on this was with
I can
time
look
or-
it up.
given inflation, I suppose, because something tells me with no known actors, and I mean they had a cast of people. Like they had a director. They had a director of photography. They had a DP.
Well, could you imagine how good Nightmare on Elm Street would be if Mac was the audio
Dude,
guy?
so you would have liked it then, maybe. You know,
I think I would have liked it. I would have liked it then.
too bad.
If,
And we
if
never
you're
saw
ready to
him
have your
again.
mind blown,
There's no way
like
it's more than $1 million.
it's $2 million. It
That's
had a
insane.
$2 million
This
budget.
was $2 million.
That's insane.
This cost twice the budget of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
It was that Bruce Lee double, man.
It really was. It was the Bruce Lee double.
Spent a lot of money on him.
Acquiring the body parts of animals and stuff,
Yeah,
I
a
guess.
whole pig to cut in half.
A
Yeah.
whole pig is like $1,000.
Yeah, I have to
I-
assume like it's the location, but no talent, no costume or wardrobe really. They're just wearing clothes.
I suppose Linda Day probably cost money, and supposedly that Christopher George guy is a name actor. I don't know him, but like they both got top billing kind of for a reason. So
There's a
maybe
lot
that's
of
where the
red
budget.
paint.
Who is
I don't
Christopher
know.
George?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would assume it's the cop. If
Not
I
a
had to
single-
guess.
Looked familiar from like a Mystery Science Theater 3000
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, I love that.
Not a single
so-
cent was spent on writing. Apparently, like they
No.
just spending all that money and just freestyling on film is probably why it costed so expensive.
This movie was written by 2 to 3 people, which also is baffling.
yeah.
Okay, so we're giving it a collective no limbs. Like in my letterboxd, I gave it 1 limb prior to knowing, but I will say once I looked up the history of the film, it colored it a lot worse, in a worse light. I agree. I wanted to shamelessly shill my stuff briefly. It is the season, so if you are interested, you can pick up through Amazon the 31-day horror movie challenge.
Look
It
at this.
is
Look at
a
this. Oh, look
Hey,
at
look
us.
at
Look at us right
Hey.
here.
Oh my God.
Some people
I've,
got my
I've-
stuff.
I've been bamboozled. You guys set me up.
Yeah,
You guys
we
set me
planned
up.
this.
It's a film journal. It's a film journal. I encourage you to pick up. The link will be in the description area down below. Up next, the next film to be analyzed is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. So we hope to have you back listening to that. But thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of Pieces down below. Did you like it more than we did, or did it fall to pieces like it did for us? I'll stop.
Oh, no. I feel bad now.
It's all good. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and have a spooky season, everybody. Peace.